NASCAR isn't waiting around anymore. After months of legal back and forth, courtroom drama, and a deepening civil war between teams and the sport's leadership, the gloves have officially come off. In a stunning late-night move, NASCAR filed new court documents that didn't just defend its stance. They declared open season on the charters owned by 23XI Racing and Front Row Motorsports. Yes, you heard that right. NASCAR is ready to sell off the very foundation of those teams' futures. And if things go their way in court on August 28th, just days before the Cup Series playoffs begin, those charters could be gone for good. Let me explain what that actually means. In this world of stock car racing, a charter is more than just a piece of paper. It's a team's golden ticket to race every week, to collect money, sponsorship, and respect. Without it, you're just hoping you can make the show each weekend, with no guarantees. 23XI and FRM once had 6 of those charters. Now they have 0. And NASCAR's message is clear. We're not giving them back. In fact, we want to sell them to someone else as soon as possible. In the court documents, NASCAR even bragged that many eager potential entrants want to buy the charters right now. And while the names are redacted, they claim these are serious players, aspiring entrants that have a passion for motorsports, with histories of on-track success. It's a bold, aggressive swing from NASCAR, and it's happening just weeks after the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals overturned the preliminary injunction that once protected 23XI and FRM's charter status. Without that protection, both teams have been racing as open teams, still on the track, but without the charter benefits. NASCAR says it adjusted its rulebook to make sure those teams can finish the season without missing any races. But make no mistake, they are skating on thin ice. And now, with NASCAR pushing hard to begin a 30-day bidding process for those charters, the clock is ticking. According to NASCAR, if they wait too long, say until the trial finishes in December, it'll be too late for new owners to prepare for the 2026 Daytona 500. New owners would require more time than that to adequately prepare, the sanctioning body wrote. From prior experience, NASCAR estimates that a new entrant would need to begin its preparation process by no later than October 1st. In other words, if the judge doesn't let them sell now, they claim the entire sport will suffer. But here's where it gets nasty. NASCAR isn't just fighting this case with legal arguments. They're going straight for the jugular. They directly called out Michael Jordan, the NBA legend and co-owner of 23XI, accusing him of using the court system to grab a permanent charter that no other team has. It's a heavy accusation that drips with bitterness. NASCAR says Jordan and his team want to rewrite the rules for everyone else just to protect themselves. And they aren't buying the victim narrative. They also went on the offensive, saying that 23XI and FRM are ignoring the massive pay increases NASCAR has provided over the years. In their filing, NASCAR said they've increased team payments by 28% since the original 2016 charter agreement, and another 62% under the new deal. They even claim they pay a higher share to their teams than Formula One does. Unlike the plaintiffs, NASCAR President Steve Phelps said, many individuals and organizations want to acquire the charters and work with NASCAR to further grow the Cup Series. But fans? They aren't buying it. Across social media, NASCAR fans are calling the sanctioning body's move petty, ruthless, and desperate. One fan blasted the move, saying, "So put 23XI and FRM out of business before they even have their day in court. Absolute horseshit. The courts need to deny this." Another added, "There is no way the judge is going to authorize the sale or transfer of these charters until the trial is concluded. I'm no lawyer, but this motion seems like a waste of the court's time." And the timing couldn't be more brutal. The injunction hearing is scheduled for August 28th, 3 days before the 2025 playoffs begin. That's not a coincidence. That's a power play. And if NASCAR wins that hearing, it would greenlight a charter sale right as the most important stretch of the season begins. It would be a devastating blow for 23XI's drivers, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, and Riley Herbst, and for Front Row's trio of Noah Gragson, Todd Gilliland, and Zane Smith. For these drivers, this court battle isn't just about paperwork. It's about whether they'll even have a team in 2026. If you thought this was just about business disagreements or legal technicalities, think again. This is war. The courtroom has become the battleground for control of NASCAR's future, and no one, not even Michael Jordan, is being spared from the fight. The antitrust lawsuit filed last October by 23XI and Front Row didn't just accuse NASCAR of being unfair. It accused them of monopolizing the entire sport to make themselves richer, while keeping teams like 23XI and FRM trapped and powerless. NASCAR, naturally, denies all of it. But now, they've gone one step further, not only denying the claims, but actively trying to destroy the teams who dared to challenge them in court. In NASCAR's own words, the charters in question should be sold immediately because there's no way to build a new team in time for the 2026 season unless action is taken right now. That's why they're begging the court not to grant another injunction. They say it would freeze everything, block the bidding process, and damage the entire Cup Series. It will be impossible for a new team to gear up for the 2026 season, NASCAR warned, saying any new owner needs to start preparing by October 1st, just 6 weeks from now. The rush is real, and NASCAR isn't hiding it. And while all this is happening, the sport is splitting down the middle. On one side, you have NASCAR leadership, cold, calculating, and claiming to be protecting the future of stock car racing. On the other, you have two racing teams now stripped of their status, hanging on by threads, trying to fight back before everything they've built is sold off to the highest bidder. There is no peace left in this battle, only silence or shouting. Let's be clear, NASCAR's argument isn't just about money or logistics. They're also throwing punches at the very core of the lawsuit. They say they're not a monopoly at all, because other stock car series like the Cars Tour exist. According to their filing, NASCAR has never withheld approval from any charter holder to race in any other stock car series. They also point out that both 23XI and FRM never actually asked to race elsewhere. And that's not all. NASCAR even defended its use of tracks it owns by quoting the Supreme Court, saying there's no law that forces them to let other series run on their property. And then there's the issue of the next-gen car. The plaintiffs argue that NASCAR prevents it from being raced outside the Cup Series as a way to block competition. But NASCAR says that's just smart business, not illegal behavior. They wrote, "Even a monopolist generally has no duty to share its intellectual or physical property with a rival." Translation? It's our car, and we'll decide where it races. But all this legal positioning, all the careful arguments and 34-page documents don't erase the ugly reality underneath. Because what's happening right now isn't just a courtroom dispute, it's a power move, a high-speed takedown. NASCAR is playing offense, pushing to erase the existence of two entire teams before a judge even hears the full case in December. That's not negotiation, that's an ambush. And fans know it. They've seen how this has gone from business to blood sport. They've seen how NASCAR has gone after Denny Hamlin, how Michael Jordan's name is now dragged through the mud in court documents, how Front Row's future is hanging by a thread. The case won't go to trial until December 1st, but NASCAR wants to act now, to sell now, to erase the challenge now, before the season ends, before the lawyers speak, before the truth has its full day in court. What happens next depends on Judge Kenneth Bell. On August 28th, he'll hear arguments on whether to freeze the charter situation again. If he grants the new injunction, 23XI and FRM get a lifeline, a shot to finish the season under charter protection and survive until the trial. But if he denies it, the charters could be sold by Halloween. By the time the checkered flag waves in Phoenix, the sport could look completely different. So now we ask you, is this justice or revenge? Is NASCAR protecting the sport or punishing those who dared to speak up? Should 23XI and Front Row get to keep racing with their heads held high? Or has their battle already cost them everything? Let us know in the comments, because this fight, it's far from over.